Welcome back to episode 3 of Off the Wall, presented by Live on Broadway. I go by Second Self. Got Vontae Miles here.
What's up?
Carter's at the end, and we're joined by a very special guest today. DJ K-Tone is in the building.
What's happening?
How are you, sir?
Yeah, how y'all feeling?
Thank you for coming in, man.
Right on for having
Appreciate you for coming.
Well, we're going to do things a bit different. You brought your own records. We'll get to that here in a second. But before we do, we'd love to hear a bit more about you and your background in music for those who may not know.
Okay. Well, DJ K-Tone, DJ, artist, entertainer, philanthropist, father. I wear many hats.
Love it.
This is my 21st year in music, DJing. I know it don't look like it or seem like it. I've been doing this for 21.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
I've done radio, any venue in the city that you could think of. I've done it, clubs, shows. This is my career, man. You know, This is what I do. This is what I love to do, and I've been doing this since these days. I actually started on vinyl.
That's awesome.
So I didn't start in the technology age.
Okay.
I started on vinyl. You know what I mean? So I still have all my records. I have everything still. You know.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about how we first heard your name, but I think just growing up loving hip-hop in Colorado, you're just a name that somebody would just know. So when did you first really get your start in music, and how did that come about?
I got my start when I was in college.
Okay.
So that's when I really started. I was always into music though, but I really didn't start doing music like for a career or DJing until I got to college. My first, right when I got there, my first work study job was on the radio station.
Okay.
So I actually started working on radio and learning radio and all that before I actually DJ'd, you know, and then
Gotcha.
just transitioned from there. So did radio, did my first gig. I was a record rep for a college record rep for Atlantic Records.
Okay.
When I was in school, marketing rep. So you know, it all kind of tied in, and that's really when it started kicking up for me.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. So I kind of knew about you from back in the day of Colfax, CAC, and Interstate Ike.
Okay.
So I know you were kind of tapped in with them. Tell us a little bit about that.
Man, Colfax, CAC, rest in peace, Interstate Ike. You know, man, Ike, that's my brother. We still, to this day, you know, we do albums. We got another album coming out here in a minute. Earth is My Turf too. But me and Ike really knew each other from high school. You know what I mean? And when they really started kicking up dust, it started going hard, and everybody did their individual things from MNLD. Ike and CAC came out to Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I went to school. I went to school in Missouri, and they came out. I remember them coming out to Missouri. You know, they stayed in touch with me and came out because they knew I was DJing, and came and checked me out and hollered at me like, well, you know, we want you to do this with us, and we finna, you know what I mean, really go hard, bam, bam, bam. And I really just started DJing for them then. That was early 2000s. But our relationship, I've always been locked in with them. Ike was cool, and I was a fan of their music as well. You know, so I mean, it really just made sense. And you know, they said, well, you know, we really need a DJ to just go hard with us, and that was me. And we really just started going hard. You know, before, you know, CAC passed. Like I said, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But yeah.
Let's switch gears a bit and talk about hip hop specifically in Colorado.
Yeah.
I think a lot of talk I hear is, you know, you need to move out to New York, move out to LA.
Right.
What would be your advice or words for artists or producers who are kind of contemplating that move of trying to do it here and build locally versus trying to do it nationally in a bigger city?
It's easier in the bigger city. I mean, you know, if you move, you might have a better opportunity, but it's definitely, you can do it here. You know what I mean? It just requires a lot of work, man. I mean, because it's just harder here. You know, we don't have any major labels here. We don't have any. It's a landlocked city, man. So people always fly over us. You know what I'm saying? But I say move around. If you don't necessarily move, you still need to move around. You got to get out the city. You have to travel. You have to see what's going on in other places. You have to go out, network, meet people, and you definitely have to move around. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say it's impossible to do it here, but I'm not gonna say it's not either. You definitely have to move around. You know, I've moved around a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really how I built my name as well. I didn't just do it here. You know what I mean? I stayed gone. I stayed gone a lot.
Gotcha.
know.
Cool. Well, tell us a bit more about what you have going on right now in music.
So what I have going on, like I said, man, I have another album. I'm telling y'all this. Okay, so I'm telling y'all this first. I haven't
Oh, we're
even
getting the gem.
told somebody. So this can kind of segue into my foundation. But for my foundation, I'm doing a project. It's called Therapy, right? So with the project, it's an EP. It's really already done. It's an EP, and what I'm doing with this project, it's an EP and a movie, but what I'm doing with the project is really using my influence to promote mental health through music, though.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of really what I've been focusing on. I've been working on that. Shout out to Mike Coates, me and Mike Coates. Mike Coates produced all the tracks on there. And yeah, I'm doing that. Me and Interstate I got Earth Is My Turf 2 coming out. I stay busy. I'm booked up in Arizona a lot. I go there back and forth to Arizona working. We've got the Southwest Alliance. If you know about the Southwest Alliance, it's just a collective of DJs in this region. Colorado, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico. And you know, our agenda is really just to build up this region musically, you know what I mean? And make our cities and states you know, more visible, and our artists more visible to, you know, the outside world. You know what I mean? Focus on the Southwest region.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Man, you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
like. And yeah, I think I first heard about K-Tone Cares, your foundation. You're doing some kind of event with the FAFSA, helping kids getting that right. So what kind of events do you do? You mentioned the album, but we'd love to hear just a bit more about the background of your foundation.
Yeah. So the foundation is really, I focus a lot on community and kids, and you know, youth violence prevention and mental health awareness and stuff like that for the kids in the community. It's a youth violence prevention thing too, man, to kind of give people something to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we did them all in Park Hill this past year, you know, to show, you know, we can do things in this neighborhood and be nonviolent and,
Right.
you know, bring the community together. But I do events like that. But I have a bunch of things for my foundation that I'm doing, a bunch of projects, man. I have some music therapy classes that we're doing where we're teaching instruments to kids. More block parties, man. It's a bunch of stuff we're doing.
Man, that's amazing.
It's a bunch of stuff we're doing.
And so how can people volunteer or get involved?
Yeah, reach out to K-Tone Cares Foundation at gmail.com. The website is being built right now, KToneCaresFoundation.org. That'll be up the end of this month. Reach out to me personally at DJ K-Tone or the Instagram at K-Tone Cares Foundation. You know, we always looking for volunteers. We had a lot of volunteers for the block parties too. So shout out to all the volunteers who's already helped. But if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate, if you want to help, if you have any ideas, or if you have any leads, resources, man, you know, we'll take it all. K-Tone Cares Foundation. Or just put it in Google, man, it'll pop up.
Awesome. Great cause and doing it for the city. So love to hear that.
Definitely.
All right, we mentioned we're going to do things a bit different. We normally pick a record off our wall. K-Tone has been generous enough to actually bring in 2 of his own records. So we'd love to hear and see what you brought in for us.
I think it's just self-titled.
Okay.
War, right? So the significance, though, with this, and I love, you know, how these are your father's records, you know what I mean, rest in peace. So my uncle just passed away last month, rest in peace, and my mom and my uncle and my aunt went out there and, you know, handled all the business. It was in New Jersey, and she brought back some records that he had, right? And these were a couple records from his, but the significance with War is, I didn't even know, one of my cousins is one of the founder members of War, Charles Miller, which was their mom, my grandma's second cousin. You know what I mean? But, you know, I feel like that was significant.
That's amazing, yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to kind of do something from one of these. You know?
Yeah, I think we love sampling because it helps bridge generations together, and the personal connection here I think is amazing. So this is going to be a special episode, and we're honored to flip War. This is amazing.
Levante, stay snapping.
you